Hello, welcome back. You might notice I'm using a new camera. You'll probably see this a bit more. I've been given this by one of our friends just to try it out. So the rest of the footage is probably going to be a mixture of phone and this footage from now on. But anyway, I just came on to give a little introduction to the clips you're about to see. So the clips you're about to see are of me and my husband after we went to our scan on Tuesday. So it was our 12-week scan. We went together, we walked over there because the weather was nice, and you're not allowed to film in the hospitals, at least not in any of the ones I go to. It might be different in the US, but I think in the UK you're not allowed. So we couldn't film anything in there. And we basically just discussed what happened to the scan. It didn't go to plan. Spoiler alert. And we just wanted to talk about it, and I thought it would be nice to get Jake involved for you guys to meet him and yeah, talk about that. So we'll get into that now. Hey, meow. Okay, you silly cat. I'm not letting you out. Ow! What do you want? You want to come out and attack me? You being silly. Ow! Ow, Molly!
Hello. We just been for a scan, haven't we, Joe?
Yes, we have.
And what did we see?
We saw baby.
You probably want to speak up.
We saw baby today. And we listened to baby's heartbeat today. That was all good. Unfortunately, though, I wasn't able to have my blood screening for Downs, Edwards and Patau's syndrome because baby decided to do a headstand and we couldn't measure it. So I have to go back now in 16 weeks to be measured and have the screening again. So it's a bit frustrating, but baby was healthy from what we could see, and measurements from what measurements I could take looked fine, and the brain development and leg and arm development looked fine as well. Yeah. You want to add anything?
Do I want to add anything? Yeah, the baby was the wrong way round. The baby was the wrong way round. I don't really have much else to say other than that. Oh, we heard its heartbeat.
Yeah. I had to get up and walk around. I was scanned twice, and the hope that once I'd had a walk around and a jump around that baby would go back to the normal position, but it didn't. It was very stubborn and decided it was going to stay exactly where I wanted to stay. So there wasn't really much that they could do other than that, because they consider that a poor visualization, so they're not able to measure from head to rump like I normally would do.
Rump?
Yeah, rump is bum.
Rump? What the hell?
So because they couldn't measure, the baby has to be a certain measurement before they can give me the screening, and because they couldn't measure, I couldn't have the screening. So the hope is by 16 weeks I will obviously be big enough, I should be, but we still need baby to be in the correct position. So yeah, we'll go back in 4 weeks time to have another scan and have my bloods, and I wasn't able to get any photos today either, which is a bit of a shame. I was really hoping I'd be able to get some updated scan photos, and I wasn't able to get anything today, so that's a bit frustrating. But at least we were able to see the baby and listen to the heartbeat, and that was all good. I've told my midwife just to make her aware of the situation, but apparently baby being in that position is quite normal. The guy doing my scan said it was normal and not to worry, so it must happen fairly regularly. So hopefully when I go back I'll be able to get all my screening done, and yeah, we'll go from there.
I'll just say Joe's not been sleeping well. She was going on about brain fog, like babies making you stupid, and like someone else at the was it obstetrics? Someone else there was also saying her brain fell out of her ears because of the baby.
You didn't know about that, did you? About like
no, you mentioned that you get like tired and messed up from the baby anyway. Well, you said it in different words, but yeah, that's just the main thing. Joe hasn't been sleeping right, so that's the main obstacle at the minute, because obviously you need to sleep not just to like develop a baby, but just for your own like mental well-being and all that. So yeah, and then Joe was speaking to a doctor, and the doctor was saying, like, you know, you can take a little bit of magnesium, but you should just be getting it through your diet. So basically, you can't take anything. That's basically what he was saying, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. They don't advise you to take anything in regards to sleep aids, because they don't know the effects on the baby, which is completely fair enough. Before this, I wasn't on any sleep aids for a while. I used to take melatonin, and I came off of that months ago. But obviously the hormonal changes had made it quite hard for me to go back to sleep. Once I get up to use the bathroom, that's kind of it, and then I'm usually awake for about 2 to 3 hours. Last night I did manage to go back to sleep after about an hour, but it's very frustrating, and I'm also aware that I need to start focusing on, I sleep on my side anyway, but sometimes I wake up and I'm on my back, and I need to try and not do that. So I need to invest in a pregnancy pillow, because I have one at the moment and I don't really like it. I don't get on with it, so I'm going to get something different. That might help, I don't know, but it's apparently quite common in the weeks that I'm in. I'm obviously 12 weeks now, and it should hopefully settle, because my hormones are like at their peak, and when I enter trimester 2 it should settle. But I mean, I hope so, but there isn't really anything else I can do other than just ride it out, it seems, and increase my magnesium through diet. So I'll do some research when I get home as to what is rich in magnesium, and yeah, I don't really know what else to try. Yeah. So as a follow-up from those clips, Jake touched upon my sleeping not being the best, which is correct. For the last sort of 4 weeks, I have been on and off of my sleep. So I go to bed, I can fall asleep generally pretty quickly, within sort of 5 minutes to 20 minutes usually I can fall asleep, and that's all fine. I can stay asleep for about 2 or 3 hours, and then I'll get up to use the bathroom at, like, I don't know, between 10:30 and 11:30. And once I've gotten up, it's really hard for me to go back to sleep, even if I am super exhausted, even if my brain is exhausted, my body is exhausted. I could be the most tired I've ever felt and won't be able to go back to sleep. So it takes me, well, I do go back to sleep, that's a lie, but it takes me maybe 2 to 3 hours, and by that point, by the time I do go back to sleep, if I've got to get up for work or whatever, I generally only have about like 2 hours or so left in bed before I have to get up anyway. And then my second sleep is usually way shorter, and I usually have to, I wake up during REM sleep, and yeah, generally just feel really, really tired throughout the day. So I have been trying some different techniques to see if that helps. So last week I went to town and bought some books. I'm not an avid reader. I used to be. I used to read quite a lot. I used to enjoy reading, and for whatever reason I just haven't done really since I was a kid. And I always liked the idea of getting back into reading, and I never stuck to it. So I decided that I was going to go and get some books and read before bed, because the last time I read a book, I used to read it before bed, and I used to have the best sleeps, because it would really tire my brain out. It'd make my eyes really heavy. So I've tried that. I've been trying it for about, what day is it now? 4 nights now, and I wouldn't say it's making a huge difference, but I am noticing I can fall asleep quicker. Not that that was an issue anyway, but according to my watch data the other night, I fell asleep within 1 minute, which I very rarely do, so clearly it's doing something. But last night, for example, it took me half an hour, which isn't particularly long, but it's longer for me. So, but I don't think I can really tell yet because it's too early. I mean, 4 days isn't enough of an experiment to see whether it's working or not. So I am going to keep that up. I am going to get another pregnancy pillow. I did talk about this in another episode, I think the previous one, but the one I currently have, I don't really get on with. And I found one that I like the look of, and I'm going to get that and try that out because I am being more and more conscious about lying on my back. I don't go to sleep on my back, but I do tend to wake up and be on my back, and I know I should be lying on my side. I am a side sleeper, but yeah, I do wake up on my back, particularly if I want to stretch or something. So I'm going to invest in that and see if that helps. I've been going to bed sort of more earlier and earlier. I already go to bed early at 8:30 at the moment. I'm usually asleep by 9. But where I've just been feeling so fatigued recently, I've been going to bed a little bit earlier and then lying in bed and reading for sort of half an hour or so, just to see if that helps. So I'm going to continue with that. I've tried to reduce glugging water at night, even if I'm super, super thirsty, because that will inevitably make me want to get up and use the toilet more frequently. So I'm trying to drink more throughout the day, but less in the evening, and that does seem to be working. I don't seem to be getting up 3 times a night anymore. I'm only getting up 1 to 2 times a night, so that's working. So there's a couple of things I'm going to keep trying, a couple of things I'm going to get to try. I really hope that I come out of this. I did end up having to call the GP and ask for advice because it's just, after sort of 4 weeks of it, it's really, really ironically tiring. So I spoke to my GP, explained what the issue was. I had already spoken to my midwife, I should say, beforehand, and she couldn't advise me on sleep aids, so she told me to speak to my GP. And bottom line was I can't really take anything. I spoke to him about doing increasing my magnesium, like taking a supplement, specifically of magnesium bisglycinate, because I know that has been proven to help with sleep. My husband takes it at night, and I basically asked him, can I take this, because I know that it works. And the doctor said that you probably could, as long as you kept your dosage quite low. I think he said under 200 milligram, which is not very high. But he said that he'd prefer if I just ate magnesium-rich foods. So I'm gonna try and do that a bit more. But it's basically just eating healthy, which I'm really trying to do. I am. I have days where I'm better than others, so it really depends on how much energy I've got to be able to cook or what I have in the house. So I'm definitely eating a lot of more fruit, and I'm eating cashews because they're quite good for magnesium. Leafy greens are good for magnesium. I can't remember what else. There's a load of other stuff that's good for magnesium. So I'm going to be trying to increase it through my diet, and then if it doesn't really improve, I'll go back and look at maybe a low dose of magnesium. But yeah, I've been sort of told to avoid taking anything for it, and you can't take any sleep aids and stuff for it anyway, which I understand because I don't know the effects on the baby. So I've just kind of got to ride it out, and I'm hoping that now that I'm over the 12 weeks, it will settle. I did some research and they said that it can peak between sort of weeks 8 to 12. They're the sleep disturbances at this stage. So I'm hoping it will settle a little bit. And then no doubt I'll have sleep disturbances as I go throughout my pregnancy. So sleep's really important, just for feeling sane. So I really want to make sure I'm sleeping. The other thing I've been doing as well is I've been increasing my exercise. So last week and the week before, I was super lethargic. Just felt like I couldn't go to the gym. I did force myself a couple of days, but I definitely didn't like push myself. I didn't have the motivation I normally had. So this week, so far, I've only been twice. I went yesterday, which was Friday, and I went Wednesday. And I am planning on going tomorrow, but I'm really, really sore. So we'll see. But today I went on a really, really long walk with my husband and my mum, which is going to be in a separate video, the next video probably. Excuse me. Just to get like a bit of cardio in. And it was lovely. It was a really nice day. It still is a nice day. I think we ended up walking like 12.9 kilometres, which is the longest I've walked in a long time. And I'm really sore because I have DOMS in my legs from the gym yesterday. So it was hard. And we did stop for food, which I'm grateful for because I was absolutely starving by the time we got into town. So I will detail that in the next video. So yeah, I'm increasing my exercise, my footsteps throughout the day. I'm trying to reduce my water intake at night. I'm going to buy a new pregnancy pillow and I've started reading. So I've made a couple of changes. Like I said, I think it's still a bit too early to tell. I'm just hoping that the hormones will settle a little bit and I'm able to get better sleep because I really need it. And I'm knackered right now because obviously we've walked 12.9k and I'm very, very sore from the gym. So I'm hoping tonight I'll get into bed and just pass out, which would be lovely. And then I'm only off for another day and then I'm back at work. So I really want to get my sleep in now whilst I have time to sleep and lie in. So that was just a little update for you in regards to what Jake was speaking about in the car, about my sleep. Nothing else really has changed that much. Everything's pretty good. My fatigue is still there. It kind of comes and goes. The only other thing is I've been quite achy. I've had quite an achy back. And I've just been sort of using hot water bottles and stuff to help and trying to stretch. But that's kind of it. So I will update you in the next one, which, like I said, will be our little excursion to Down. It's probably going to be in a really weird order because I just took the camera with me on the off chance to get some footage. And there's some things I wanted to film that I didn't, and other things that I filmed that I didn't need to. So sorry if it's weird. So yeah, we'll catch you in the next one.